Okay, and we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amber Unabridged. If you're here, if you're not here, that's fine. Um, we are here today to do some reading sprints. My sister-in-law Ellen has joined me. Um, so we're gonna be talking books. We're gonna be talking fundraisers. We're gonna be talking future fundraisers that may or may not include some giveaways. We're gonna be having a good time. We're gonna be having a good time. Um, so, um, I'm here to read. Well, actually, before I go into that, Ellen, do you want to say hi? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. First of all, do you hear any background noise from me, Amber? Or do you just hear me?
I mean, when Bastion was yelling stuff, I could hear him a little bit, but I think if he's still yelling stuff, I can't hear him really.
Okay, well, hopefully the yelling stuff from the background is at an end. But yeah, real quick, my name's Ellen Schneider. I am the team captain for Team Nerds for a Cure. We are fundraising for a cure for multiple sclerosis. And we've been doing this since 2014. And I've had MS for 10 years. So this is my, yay, 10-year anniversary with MS. But we are fundraising with extra fun in fundraising by reading books because that is really personal to me and why this is so important. Because when I was diagnosed, the thing that got me diagnosed with MS was losing full vision in my left eye. It was paralyzed, and I had to wear an eye patch, and it was pretty grim and made it really, really hard to read. And I know that doesn't sound like lots of people with one eye read, but it was hard because a lot of other things went sideways at the same time. And so that's part of why, for my 10-year anniversary living with MS, I want to celebrate with lots of books because reading is precious, and you never know when you have MS how long you'll be able to just sit and read a book anymore. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for having me, Amber.
Thanks for sharing. For the record, even though it was all scary and terrible, the eye patches were definitely glammed up and super cool looking. So making the best of a situation. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Thank you. I try.
I thought about them. I don't remember what caused it. I think somebody said something about pirates, and I was thinking about like costumes, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like Ellen made some pretty great eye patches that one time. So I was like, I could find out where to get eye patches from my sister-in-law. So all right. Well, right now it looks like we're the only two here, so that's fun. But we can talk about some books. Maybe talk a little bit more. See if anybody has time to hop on and join us. Um, just got a text that my friend is probably going to hop on soonish. Um, so I'm going to talk about what I plan to read today. So mostly, I'm going to be working on this beast. It's N.K. Jemisin's The Inheritance trilogy. I'm about 300 pages in. Ooh, 323 pages in. Go me. And I set some kind of lofty reading goal for myself. I think I wanted to get to page like 750 this month. Um, and we're halfway through the month, so like who knows if that'll happen. Um, you know, you don't know. You certainly won't happen if you don't try, right? So anyway, that's what I'm going to be reading today. It's a good,
Yeah, you gotta try.
yeah, exactly. It's a good fantasy book. Heckin' good storytelling. So I'm digging it. What are you planning to read today, Ellen? Oh, you're still muted.
Well, I'm still getting the hang of this whole live internet fun time.
Fair.
I am going to be reading this beautiful tome, the Annotated Brothers Grimm, because if anyone is going to come over here from my beloved Technicolor Lily Pond, if any of you read my blog that is devoted to creativity and fun times, you would know I'm an author. Amber has, also if you watch this channel, which you totally should because it's awesome, but Amber has interviewed me before in my authorial capacity because I am author E.A. Lawrence, writer of fiction. I have been published 4 times. Hopefully, I will get published more in the future. But 2 of the stories I'm working on right now, with the help of the great crew over at All Writers Workplace and Workshop, is both 2 of these stories I'm working on with that wonderful group of folks involve fairy tales because as Amber knows very well, I'm a little obsessed with fairy tales. I have a giant bookcase that is very well stocked, and I have, if you look through our house, you will find fairy tales secreted around because you never know when you need a fairy tale. So you just never know. So I am doing some homework and rereading 2 of the stories that are influential on my current works in progress right now. I'm going to be rereading the fairy tale 7 Ravens and the fairy tale Cinderella. So yeah, I did not have a specific reading goal for this summer. I just wanted to read more. My reading goal for 2023 is 12 books. So far I'm according to Goodreads, I'm on track. I just finished a book that was delightful, but we can talk about that later for content fun times. But anyway, that was a very long-winded answer to your question, Amber.
I loved it. It was great. And it looks like we got somebody watching. They haven't commented, which is totally fine. Lurkers are more than welcome. But oh, and it looks like we do have someone. Alicia joined in. Hi. Hello. Welcome. All right. All right. So actually, I need to try to remember how to
sorry to interrupt you while you're concentrating, Amber, but is it cool because I'm new at this whole 21st century streaming thing, can I just share the link to your channel on my socials?
I believe so.
Okay, I will try that and see if anyone can join.
I don't remember if there's a specific link for this live video, but if they go to the channel, it should pop up right at the top, I believe.
It does. I did, and I muted that link, or I muted it. So I'll try it. I'll try the thing. Okay, sorry. Carry on concentrating.
Oh, you're good. For anyone who's here, which is mostly just Alicia, hi. I don't remember how to set up the timer. So I'm trying to. Oh, I see how I do this. Okay. Hold on. Give me like 3 seconds. Let me get this. We're gonna do a little warm up, I think. And and it's gonna be, I got this ad popping up, so I got another ad popping up. It's fine, honestly. It's not annoying at all. So, okay. All right. So, glad that my little chat. I am also glad that you can make it. So, thanks for coming to hang out and read. Alicia, what are you reading? What are you going to be reading? I'm about to set a timer probably for 10 minutes, just as like a nice little warm up, little reading warm up. But let us know. Let us know what you're reading. Okay. And I am gonna set this timer, which I totally remembered how to do. So I'm gonna do that. Can you see the? Hopefully you see the thing. And so we'll do the reading, and then we can come back and see how much we read. Talk about some things. All right. Happy reading. Alrighty. Hello. Hello. How's everybody doing? 10 minutes are up. Right. So I read like 6 pages. How about you all?
Well, I read one of the fairy tales. I read Seven Ravens,
How
and
long is
I
it?
got started reading. Um, yeah, sorry, I just saw your little note. But anyway, yes, I finished reading Seven Ravens. That's as far as I got.
That's cool. How long is the story? Did you had already started reading it before the sprint started?
No, it's a short one. It's a
Oh,
short one.
oh heck.
Let me double check the page count. But it was very illuminating. Gave me a different perspective. Part of a whole tradition of tale types of brothers and the birds, which I find fascinating. But
I don't think I've ever heard of the Seven Ravens story.
have you heard of 12 Brothers or the Six Swans?
Maybe.
I would say they're not as well known as some fairy tales. I don't think they've gotten a Disney adaptation.
That's fair.
139, which I would say is just as well, but I'm a little judgy on that. I'm a little biased toward the original tales.
That's fine. Although I will say I do like, I like some of the adaptations. Like The Little
I do
Mermaid
too.
has a much happier ending via Disney.
I find that fascinating. It's weird because I don't know, Disney fairy tales were my gateway into fairy tales. But reading the original tales, I like them better. You know,
Okay.
I guess ever since I was a little kid, I guess I've had like the book is better energy, but I actually found the ending of The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen super upsetting when I was a kid. I was so disappointed. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I reread it as an adult, I liked it better, but it still wasn't great. And then when I reread it as a newly diagnosed patient with MS, I was just crying
Hmm.
because I empathized with the character in a way I never did before. And I found the ending more beautiful than I ever had before because I saw it in a different way.
Okay.
And that could be a whole other discussion. I might just go grab my copy of Little Mermaid to reread that. But it's yeah, I don't know. That's a whole thing. My thoughts on Little Mermaid. I don't know if I ever wrote about it on my blog, but maybe I wrote about it a little bit. I haven't actually written that deeply about my MS experiences because it's very hard for me. But I know I've written about it a little bit, especially in the context of books, of like reading all the books that helped me through with some of my early treatments.
Right on.
Um, but yeah, Little Mermaid, I found new places of kinship with her as I've suffered more, honestly.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it's I was actually talking with Kyle about this. For anyone who's not aware, Kyle's my best friend. Um but we were talking just like yesterday about how we really love stories that are like sad
Yeah,
and like tragically so, like it's destined from the beginning, and if you try to change it you make it happen. We were specifically talking about timey-wimey stories because um for anyone who is unaware, and Ellen, I don't know how much I've told you about this even, but I've been getting him hooked on Doctor Who.
you did tell me about that. I was very excited that you were
Yeah,
spreading the good news of Doctor Who and the TARDIS,
that's right.
and I'm happy that that
Yep.
is happening.
And yesterday he came over. We'd gone to an event. They had this Irish event at this beer garden in a park in Wauwatosa, and we went because I wanted to get the buy one get one free Irish Fest tickets.
Right on.
Which like I probably won't be able to use the second one because of other obligations that weekend. But I figure I could give the other ticket to him or to somebody else, and either way, I wanted a ticket. And they had like fun stuff, and they had a bunch of free things, and that was cool. And we just watched The Waters of Mars.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a sad one and a
Yes.
good one because it's sad anyway. So yeah,
that is all true.
That's what we did. So anyway, Alicia answered my question from way earlier about what she's reading, which is a Drowned Kingdom by P.L. Stewart. Are you liking it? Is it good so far? What's it about? Tell us some stuff. You have a discussion on your channel in a week. That's cool. I might have to watch it after. I'm sorry, I got like something in my eye right now. I might have to watch it after next Friday because I'm going to be driving to Ohio. So I'll have to, I don't know. I might be there, so I might be able to watch it. Depends on how the weekend shapes up. Just finished watching the Shakespeare episode. I love it. Alicia's also watching Doctor Who. So I've been very excited to get little glimpses into where she's been at with that. So did you like it? Did you like that episode of Doctor Who, Alicia? Because I really enjoy that one. I think it's fun. I think it's a good time. Fantasy retelling of Atlantis myth. Hello.
What? That sounds awesome.
Let me just write that down real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to where's my Goodreads? I am on Goodreads if anyone wants to friend me. But I am going to put that down on my want to read shelf. What was it? The Sunken Kingdom? No.
A Drowned Kingdom.
Oh, well, hey, I was close. That's cool.
Yeah, here, I'll pop it back up on the screen here. A Drowned Kingdom by P.L. Stewart. I'm putting it in my little A Drowned Kingdom. I know how words work.
Sure you do.
By P.L. Stewart. That sounds heckin' fun. Yeah, I find that fascinating. When he explained book stuff to Greg, doesn't know a lot of book stuff, so it's kind of funny when we're watching an episode and I put the connections in with books. Wait until season 4. I'm not gonna say why, but like, know your mysteries. I'm just saying.
I will say, like, it's very clear that the writers of Doctor Who are very passionate readers and bibliophiles because, they have a lot of terrific episodes about books and those who write them.
Yep. And it's great. I love it. Yeah, I bet you're going to have a good time next week, Alicia. I bet that'll be fun. Yeah, for anyone who casually is observing, I am drinking wine, so I'm going to get a little loosey-goosey as we go on, probably. I think I've drank like half the bottle at this point, which is, par for the course for me. But
fun times. It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. I'm not driving anywhere. I'm just going to be home drinking my wine. I bought the wine yesterday. I was like, I'm going to put this in my fridge, but I don't feel like drinking it now. But at some point I will. I got home and I was rushing to like get all set up because I'm a chronic procrastinator. And that word came out correctly. And I was like, this is faster than tea. So that became the beverage of choice for the evening.
Hey, that's fair. I'm not
Yeah.
judging. I just have my water because I was also running late and behind.
Water is delicious. I have water also because I like to drink alcohol, but I like to not be hungover.
Fair.
So yeah. Connection with Shakespeare episode, but kind of got the Weird Sisters vibes from Terry Pratchett. I haven't read any Terry Pratchett actually.
I haven't either. That's on my to dos.
Yeah,
Someday.
I bet whatever the vibe was, I bet he was inspired by Shakespeare. I know that the three witches is common in Shakespeare plays. I think that's a thing in Macbeth, and I know it's a thing in Macbeth, but I don't know if it happens in any of his other plays. Ellen, you know better than I would.
Witches and witchcraftery?
Yeah, like three witches.
Yeah. He talks about, I mean, I think Macbeth is the most celebrated. I can't, now I'm questioning myself. I don't know if he used witches and others. He certainly used magic. I think when you think about magic and Shakespeare, naturally you think of Midsummer Night's Dream or Twelfth Night. Um, but yeah, Prospero in Twelfth Night. He's in Twelfth Night, right? Now I'm questioning myself. I have not gotten a lot of sleep this week, and I'm going on a whole anxiety, doubting my English minor experience here.
It's okay. I just saw 12th Night Live, and I don't know if Prospero was in it or not. But to be fair, it was kind of an interesting night. It was great, though. We went to see it in Madison. I went with two of my friends, and it was this outdoor venue. And it was weird because it started raining. So there was literal thunderstorms at the beginning when the shipwreck happens and the storm that causes the shipwreck. So there was a literal storm. And then at the end, when everything's all happy and peachy, there literal doves flew off of the building nearby. It was
I was
wild.
wrong. I'm exhausted. I'm sorry. You said there were doves. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, the real life was mimicking the art, basically.
That's wonderful.
There was an actual thunderstorm when 12th Night started during the shipwreck. Like, there was actual thunder in the air, in the sky, afar. It had already stormed. They postponed it by a couple minutes. I was soaking wet. It was a good time. And then at the end of the show, when everything's all great and happy and wrapping up beautifully, and everybody's like, "Ooh, yay!" There was literal doves flying off of the building, and one of the actresses was like already gesturing towards the sky, and then she was like, "Ah!"
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was wild.
Okay, so full disclosure, I clearly need to brush up on my Shakespeare because I mixed up Twelfth Night and The Tempest. Both stories that revolve around the agency of storms and people getting shipwrecked. But The Tempest is the play that has Prospero and good old Calabash and all sorts of skeevy stuff about slavery, which is icky, but it has some cool speeches in there. And Prospero has magic. So he's like the other big magic practitioner I think of when I think of the works of good old William Shakespeare. But Macbeth is a way better play. I like Macbeth a lot more than The Tempest. And clearly my brain does because I have seen The Tempest. I've read The Tempest. I still forgot the title. That is so sad. But Macbeth, I've got dialed in. I've seen it. I've read it 4 times. I've seen a bunch of different versions of it. I still haven't gotten to see the Denzel Washington version that I super want to see. I'm way behind. I know. What am I doing with my life, Amber? I don't even know if I haven't seen the latest Macbeth. But
I don't know, but that sounds fantastic.
But yeah, Denzel Washington, yeah, it's the best. Right, I mean, I love Denzel Washington and everything else. I can't imagine he'd be bad as Macbeth.
I can't imagine he'd be bad at anything,
No.
honestly.
Yeah, I think Terry Pratchett probably is up both my and Amber's alley, and we're just behind because there's
Listen,
so many books, and we
there
have to
are,
have like jobs that don't involve reading books.
yeah. I try every so often. I think, oh man, I just have to like some data entry stuff today to work on for like an hour. I'll listen to an audiobook while I work on it. And then like a phone call comes in, and then somebody walks into my office, and then there's this thing and that thing. And I was like, well, that was a fun idea for 3 seconds. That's cool. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure I probably would like Terry Pratchett. I really want to read Good Omens, mostly because of the whole Neil Gaiman part. But like, there's a partnership there. There's a right that was the two of them. They're the
Yes, it
two.
was. It
Okay, cool.
was.
I just got real nervous for a second that it was a totally different like Neil Gaiman and somebody else entirely, and I was just like,
I empathize hard with that. I mean, I just questioned all my knowledge of Shakespeare, rightly so, because I got it wrong. But
that'll
I've
happen.
there's so much Shakespeare yet to read too. I've only scratched the surface, and I had 2 Shakespeare classes. There's just so much.
I keep wanting to read more Shakespeare and watch more Shakespeare. I've been going to, so, I live in Milwaukee County, for anyone watching or watching later, since the two people actively present already know that. But they do this thing in Milwaukee. There's this group that does these drunk Shakespeare shows, and it's called Boozy Bard Productions. And they're like, oh, the whole premise is that like when he would write the shows, like the actors would get drunk at the nearby bar or pub and practice their lines,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it was first consumed by people. So that's what we're doing. And they don't like get drunk, but like they drink, and everyone's yelling out different stuff as we go, and it's just kind of a fun way to connect to it, I guess, since like a lot of people are afraid to approach Shakespeare because they think it's so like hoity-toity and inaccessible. But it's just like, yeah, some of the language is hard to follow. But then like one of the guys, he always does this song during the intermission, which just like summarizes the play in a really comedic fashion. It's always a good time, you know. So it's a good time. I'm a fan. Um, yeah, I think the next one they're doing next week is Hamlet.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
I'm a fan of Hamlet too.
if you're
It's a good
free,
one.
if you're free on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, saying. But yeah, so it's fun. It's a good time. Most of what I know about Shakespeare is from like remakes of into modern stuff. So like I knew um, Twelfth Night because I've seen She's the Man an obscene number of times,
Mm-hmm.
and needed to see it. So yeah. Um, all right, so I'm going to change the subject a little bit. So we are planning in September on the 30th to do another live, which I'm going to totally prep in advance for and get the word out better.
Same.
We're gonna let people know that it's a thing that's happening, and we're gonna be doing more. We're gonna be talking about the fundraiser more
Yeah.
for that reading sprint. So we're gonna be still reading books. We're gonna be still talking nerdy things, but we're also gonna be trying to actually raise money for the um, MS Society of Wisconsin to try to find a cure for multiple sclerosis. And, um, you know, I feel like there's been a lot of really great research being done. And I feel like it's definitely not something that's an impossibility
Oh.
right now. So, the more we can raise, the better. And so I think we still have some details to work out for that. But I know that we've been talking about doing a couple giveaways.
We
So
have.
so people who join the so Alicia says she'll be there.
Yay!
Thanks, Alicia.
Thank
And
you.
Alicia has donated to the fundraiser already.
Aww,
And
thank you so much. My brain appreciates it.
and we're gonna be doing some giveaways. So we still have to work out some of the details about what we're doing. So I'm not gonna like say anything that I'm not gonna say anything. But we're gonna be definitely giving some stuff away to some people. So you should be there if you're watching this. And you should bring some friends because that might help. Just saying. And we're gonna be reading some more books and talking about some fun things. So, I probably didn't mention this. I didn't mention this factually. I know this in this video, but our team. Well, you might have mentioned actually. I know I didn't say it, but you might have said it. But our team for the fundraiser is Nerds for a Cure.
It is.
Yeah,
It
I don't
is.
remember if
I
you
can put
mentioned
a
that.
link in chat.
Yeah, it'll show up for anyone watching later too.
Yep. Okay, I can do the things.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know if you can put a link in the chat. Sometimes they don't
Maybe
let
I
you.
can't.
Yeah, they don't always allow links in chats for live videos.
Okay.
So it's okay. That's the thing I forgot. I didn't even think about it until just now. I was like, wait. So yeah, but yeah, it'll be good, and we'll be talking nerdy things. We'll be talking science things.
Yeah, I'll try and get my act together and be better prepared with more research info because there's a lot of cool research. The society is the second biggest sponsor of multiple sclerosis research after the National Institutes of Health. So the MS Society has directly made a big difference in the ability of scientists to work the problem. You know, I don't do any work with multiple sclerosis research at this time, but I mean, I participated in research when I get the opportunity to do so. That's something the National MS Society does is they send out, you know, call for research study participants. So if I qualify, I participate because I want to help. But yeah, there's just been so much since the society started. You know, when the society started raising money for research, I think there were only a couple treatments for MS, and now there's over 19. So it really does make a difference.
Wow.
It's amazing what happens when you pay scientists money to do science. They actually do amazing science, and it makes a big difference. It's wow, you know, like funding. Who knew? But yeah, and there's some really cool stuff, and they're always looking for people. They're always trying to fund different elements of helping MS patients with their quality of life. So it's not just trying to find like a cure, it's trying to also find ways to restore lost function and help quality of life and also understand basically like how it works, why some people get it and other people don't, why some people get a really severe case of it and other people don't get a severe case of it. It's a complicated disease, and no two people have quite the same experience of it, which is part of why it's really awful to live with because it's very unpredictable. And what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. But yeah, there's so many more treatment options than there used to be. So it really is the best time to have MS ever. in history. So there's that. Um, and I've been doing really well for a long time. I've been richly blessed. I've had fairly minor symptoms, but it recently, but it's been it's tough because it's invisible. You know, in some ways, if you have a very visible issue, um, it's easier for people to take it seriously and give you accommodations or just basic compassion. But if you look okay, people are like, well, what? You're just like malingering. What's wrong with you? Like, pull up your socks, get it together, man. And it's just like, like, this is real. This is real. Yeah, I remember when I first had it, I kind of there were days I just wished I had purple spots, you know, just like something really visible that would make people not be awful. But eh,
That's a high demand, I think, for most of society.
dear society, stop being awful, please.
And
Thanks.
that is my cynicism showing. So,
But I have also met a lot of very kind people with this, and there is a lot of compassion out there. So that's very kind. And as
yeah.
I said, the science keeps growing and getting better. And they had a couple recent studies that came out in the last year that showed more of like the relationship Epstein Barr virus has to MS. And that there's a lot more people with MS in the United States than they ever thought.
Hmm.
So it's up to, I think, over 1 million people have MS in the United States. Um, so you're not alone. We're all in this together. Especially here in Wisconsin. Wisconsin has one of the highest diagnosis rates of the United States. So one thing I discovered, you know, being part of this movement and doing fundraisers in the past is that you know, just going around asking people to donate prizes for previous fundraising events, people were always really kind. And even if they couldn't donate, they still like wish us luck and were very nice about it. They weren't jerks about it. But a lot of the people I met doing that all had a personal connection to MS. Like they had a friend or a family member who had MS, and they were really glad that we were out there advocating for research for a cure. And you never know how, you know, because science is amazing like this, you never know how one discovery will inspire or enable a different discovery in a totally different field. Like a couple years ago, a study came out showing that autism had links to myelin damage in the brain and myelin development, and that some MS treatments and research had applications for helping some people with various aspects of autism on the autism spectrum. And so I just had kind of like a mind blown moment when I read that story of just like, it's all interconnected, it's all coming together. So it's really amazing stuff.
Right on. Right on. Well, on that note, should we celebrate by reading some more?
Yeah, let's read some more.
All right. I'm
Books,
thinking
books, books.
definitely something that we celebrate on this channel and
Yes.
in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes, and then I'll pop back in when that is done. And I'm going to totally do this the right way and not forget what I'm doing at all.
I believe in you.
Oh, thanks. That makes one of us. All right, here we go. Hello. We have.
Hello.
I can't figure out my tabs here. Our 15 minutes have ended for our reading and or productivity if you need to like watch and do dishes or whatever. You know, do you, fan. You do you. So I finished the chapter. Some things are about to happen in my book. Some things are about to happen. And by things, I mean war.
That's the thing.
That's a thing. And it is about to happen. What did you read?
I
Did you end up going
read
to Mermaid?
some of the annotations
Ooh,
with context about these fairy tales.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you read them for the ones that you're currently reading, or just for a bunch of them, just for funsies?
I do that for fun, but I was trying to be focused, so I was reading the ones for Cinderella and 12 Ravens.
Right on. Alicia made it to chapter 11. Awesome.
Way to go!
Oh, I am reading the Inheritance trilogy and not hide my face from the light. I'm now on page 334.
Nice.
Out of a lot, 1,400 some change. So, you know, it's I've read this much.
That's a tome. That is impressive.
It's a chunker. It's a chunker.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm really liking it. I like N.K. Jemisin a lot. I first got interested in her. I first got interested in her when I found out about the 5th season, and yeah, stuff is about to happen, Alicia. It's about to happen. I found when I heard about the 5th season, it sounded so good, and I needed it. So I think you guys got me one or all or some number of the books in that trilogy.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I recall being on a quest to find you N.K. Jemisin, I believe for Christmas or your birthday.
Some gift giving occasion.
I mean, to be fair, we just like to get you things because gifts are part of my love language. I actually did just get you another thing, but it is book related, but not actually a book.
Okay.
Just to be cryptic.
Now I want to know. Now, if anybody here wants to know what it is, they have to watch on the 30th because I'm
yes,
it's a birthday present. So, there, if you want to know what it is, you got to watch on September 30th. Boom.
Wow, we are.
Curiosity. My curiosity's peaked.
We are just making some spine tingling content here. Spine tingling, dude! I just did a funny. Come on. Yay!
Oh man, yeah, I didn't catch that at first, and then you called me out basically because I was the one who wasn't reacting to it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not that funny, but I feel like it became funnier by being weird about it.
Because we are choosing to be entertained. So, Alicia says I need to tell her everything when I finish the first book in the bind. Have you read this already, Alicia? I don't remember. I know you like N.K. Jemisin, but I don't remember if you've read the Inheritance trilogy or the 10,000 Kingdoms, as I think the first book is called technically. I would really love if it wasn't a bind up. I actually kind of hate bind ups because I'm like, really? I'm going to read 1,400 pages and I'm going to get credit for reading one book? Seriously?
So I am new to the lingo. What is the bind up?
This is 3 books
Yes.
bound up in one book.
Oh.
Yeah. So it might actually be, I think there might be like a novella in here too as well. Possibly. Yeah, I think it's 3 novels and a novella. Yeah. And so I'm going to be reading 4 books and getting credit for 1 book on Goodreads, and also Storygraph, because I use both, because Storygraph has amazing graphs and charts for your reading stats, and I love it.
Absolutely.
But Goodreads just it has more in it. Storygraph doesn't have all the books in there yet, so I just do it as like a cross-referencing thing. I use both of those, and I have my reading journal where I write down everything that I read. So that's just what I do.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Alicia, did you just read the first book, or did you read the whole trilogy? Is my question. But yeah, so I got into N.K. Jemisin when I wanted to read the Broken Earth trilogy, which is the 5th season, the Obelisk Gate, and the...
I was going to say, you have a giant bookcase behind you.
The Stone Sky. And these are all my read books. These are the books I own that I have read.
Nice.
So I was like, why am I sitting here trying to remember when it's literally right behind me?
Well, you're just trying to use your brain well, and way to go.
Huzzah. But yeah, so I love the Broken Earth trilogy. I think the first book in that trilogy was my favorite. It just totally blew my mind. It was amazing. And then Alicia and I read in our little book club that we're in, that I have not been participating in for the last few months because I've been overwhelmed as heck. But we read The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, which is a really cool premise, but it has to do with personification of all of the New York City boroughs. And I don't know them like that. So I couldn't enjoy and appreciate it probably as much as a lot of other people. It was still really interesting. But I don't have a lot of enthusiasm for continuing that series. So, yeah. So, yeah, see, Alicia, I've done that in the past, but then I'm like, but this is the one I own, and it's got the ISBN number, and I'm a real stickler for the ISBN number. I blame my time working at Barnes & Noble as a teenager. And, right on. I'm glad you read them all. Well, I'll be happy to tell you what I think about it then, because I'm really enjoying it. They're at the ball right now. In the first book, they're at the ball, and it's morning. So, some shit's about to happen. I mean, some things are about to happen. So, whatever. If anybody's watched any of my channels, I swear like a sailor, it's fine. I've been trying not to as much, so it's a little more family friendly, but listen, I can only do so much. At least try on this channel. My other channel, The Drunken Library, there's no stopping the curse words on that one. So, unless we just really feel like getting creative, which happens. So, but yeah, no, I've been enjoying this book. It's a good one. And you're reading the annotated stuff. Alicia, you got to chapter 11. It's all cool. Right on. So, all right. Well, should we do another sprint? How long do we want to go for, you think?
You want to just go till 8? Or are you asking for the sprint?
The sprint.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that would be a sprint. 15 minutes is fine. As I said, I'm a refugee from the 20th century. I don't know how this works. So thank you for showing me these modern ways.
I'm like, listen, if you want to do a 40-minute sprint, we can. We can.
15 minutes It's
Okay, cool. I just found a really neat looking one. So let me get that geared up, and then we can get going on it. It'll be a good time.
this will give me a chance to get my tea as well.
Tea is very important. As I mentioned earlier, I have foregone the tea for the evening thus far, because as I was trying to very quickly get ready for the sprints, which I did not prepare for in advance because I have issues with timeliness and procrastination. Um, I grabbed wine because it was readily available, and so that's what we did. We met in person. Yes, yes. I knew you cursed a lot before we met in person, from our video chats and things and stuff. So, and you know that I also say things and words.
I don't actually curse that often, but when I do, it's at the least appropriate time. So that's been interesting.
Like how? Can I ask? You don't have to share, but now I'm really curious.
Well, I have just managed to drop some serious swear words in front of small children like when I'm under duress, and they're fine. They're just being them, and so it's just funny because, as you know, I have a small child, and everyone jokes, and by everyone I mean your brother, that he's the child in question is going to drop some horrible words that he heard from mommy, even though by sheer volume, I have I got nothing on your brother, but because I use them so rarely, they will probably have more impact. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to be good. I'm on my best behavior. I do have a lot of fun using substitutes. My favorite being oh fudge muffins.
I was watching Outlander recently, and they were talking about cursing in Gaelic
Ooh,
and how it's not actual like bad words so much as how creative you can get with your general insults. Like, I hope your guts get ripped out and stomped on and run over by a trampling horse with diarrhea.
that's
Like,
awesome.
I know, and I'm like, man, I want to curse like the Gaelic speaking peoples of
Hmm.
the world. That sounds
Hmm.
fucking, I mean, really fun.
Dang nabbit. That's my other go-to is cursing like an old crusty prospector from a Looney Tunes cartoon, saying
Yep.
dang nabbit.
Yep. Right on. Right on. Yep. So on that note, we can just go ahead and,
Let's do some fudge muffin sprints here.
let's do some sprinting.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dang nabbit. So,
Oh.
secret goal, get you to laugh so hard you fall out of your chair.
Oh, well, I don't know about I haven't fallen out of the chair so much recently, but I do still cry and squeak.
Yay!
So that's a thing that can happen.
Woohoo! I have my inspiration now.
All right. So, 15 minutes and happy reading.
Woohoo!
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
I just got to the part with one of my favorite illustrations.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, that's A.H. Watson. Told Again, Traditional Tales Told by Walter de la Mare. Obviously the scene where Cinderella flees in her beautiful gown.
I thought it was just the part where she was dancing on the stairs.
Oh.
Just kidding. I don't think that would happen. That seems like a terrible idea. But then again, I'm not as coordinated as a lot of other individuals, so dancing on the stairs seems like a generally bad idea.
It does.
Indeed. I got to like the literal exact moment where shit's about to happen. So
Like the grenade's about to drop, so to speak.
Yo. It's about to get crazy.
Ooh. How are you doing, Alicia?
How much did you read?
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, Amber, that Seven Ravens is 5 pages long.
Oh, okay. That'll do it. Yeah. How long is the Cinderella? And would you say that it's actually an original or is it just like one of the originals? Because
the version I'm currently reading is because this is the Annotated Brothers Grimm. So this version of Cinderella appeared in I want to say 1812 here. That's what it says.
okay.
1812, and this is their retelling. And according to this, Perrault's version, Cendrillon, is from 1697. But I'm sure that Cinderella, the folktale, predates both of those because it's found in every culture. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, there's this podcast that I was really interested. I really liked listening to back when I worked a job where I could listen to podcasts a lot and audiobooks. And the podcast is Myths and Legends with Jason Weisner, I think was the guy's name. And basically, he would talk about different folk tales and fairy tales and myths and legends and all kinds of stuff. And he would do a bunch of research and he would find if there were multiple stories, he would talk about them. He'd be like, "Oh, well, here's basically the gist of the story." And then towards the end, after he gave you the gist of it, he'd be like, "Now, if you listen to like this culture's version, where this thing happens to the character, or this thing happened in this particular moment instead of what I shared, he's like, but I just like this version because of the storytelling element, or whatever." So it was really neat, and really need to listen to that podcast again.
That sounds like one I need to listen to. I know I have a giant book. I did not bring it downstairs because it's so heavy. But it's probably about as big as your one that you're reading of all the Cinderella. Yeah, of all the Cinderella tales of the world compiled into one volume, and it's a hefty one. It's chunky. But according to Maria Tater, a folklore scholar extraordinaire, the first Cinderella we know was named Ye Shen, and her story was recorded in China around AD 850 by Tuan Changshi. I apologize to anyone who speaks Chinese for butchering your beautiful language just now. I'm doing my best. But Ye Shen wears a dress made of kingfisher feathers and tiny shoes made of gold. So
That's fun.
I know. There's stories, Cinderella stories from all over the world. And Maria Tater lists several here. There's Yeshen, Cendrillon, that's Charles Perrault, Ashipet, Pepeluga, Mossy Coat, Katie Woodencloak, and Ceneratolo. That's oh, I totally bollocks that one up. I have no idea. But yeah, yeah. Aschenputtel is the Grimm's version, and
Okay.
that's this one. And then the Scottish one is Russian Coati, which again, apologies to everyone who speaks Gaelic. I don't, but yeah. But in Russian Coati, there is a little red calf that produces the dress and does all the cool stuff. So I like to imagine a little red, fuzzy Highland cow just coming out with cool accessories.
That's neat. I actually, fun fact, that just last Saturday, I saw a Scottish folk singer, folk musician in Milwaukee, named Iona Fife. She was delightful. I felt really bad though because by the time everybody in the audience showed up, there were 8 of us. So yeah, I was feeling real bad about it. I was really glad I went, and it was kind of cool because it was really personable, and I got my picture
Yeah.
taken with her after. And she was so sweet, and I adore her. But it was interesting because I didn't know that there was like a Scots language that wasn't Gaelic.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know.
I didn't either. And she was talking about it, and it sounded like because she did a cover of Taylor Swift's "Love Story"
Oh,
in the
cool.
Scots language,
Oh.
and she wasn't going to, but then me and Sam talked her into it. Um, so not even a little bit sorry. But as she was singing, I was like, I understand so many of these words. So I feel like it's, and she said something about it being influenced by like the Germanic languages. And I was like, oh, that makes sense that I would understand a lot of it because English is heavily influenced by Germanic languages as well as Romantic languages and Latin and everything else in existence, which is
I
why
know.
it's so difficult
We're
to
like a
learn.
juggernaut. We
Yeah.
just absorb everything. It's great.
Yeah, it's great and also terrible if it's your second language, I feel.
True. True. High
So,
difficulty.
yeah, definitely. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting to like listen to a song and understand like a good chunk of it, and it was just really neat. And I learned a thing, and it was generally just a really good concert.
That sounds delightful. I love Scottish music and Scottish poetry, Scottish baked goods. I feel rather ashamed of myself. I don't know. I didn't know there was a Scotch language. That's so cool.
I'm wondering like when it I'm wondering if it's more of a modern thing, like Gaelic might have come first, and then the Scots language might be like more specific to Scotland, whereas Gaelic is kind of like Scotland and Ireland and might have been brought over. Where I don't know. I don't know. I actually really want to learn a lot more about the subject now because I don't know anything at all. So yeah, but also I'll definitely send you her name in a chat so that you can look her up because she's delightful.
I
And
would love
also,
that. I love Scottish music.
it's very Celtic-y, it's very folksy. Um, it was just cool. And then she was talking about like the different songs that she was singing. She talked about like their history either in like Scottish culture or like a couple of them are from like American culture and like in different various collections that they're saved in. I've forgotten a lot of it because my memory is terrible, but
You do pretty okay.
it was. Mm-hmm. I feel, yeah, I don't know. She was talking about like this one collection where this American guy, I think I think it was Harvard. It was some Ivy League school because I remembered recognizing the name. But I like the slug mug. But there's some guy who collected a bunch of folk tales at some college, and that's like it's considered like the collection, like the hymn collection, whatever his name is. I don't remember. And it was just kind of neat to learn like a little bit about it, even though I don't obviously remember enough to share factually or educationally. But yeah, it was just really nice to hang out basically and listen to some good music and learn some things, and she talked politics a little bit too, and we are aligned. So yeah.
I bet things are interesting politically for them with Brexit at all. But I don't know enough to say more with any confidence.
That's fair. I don't know enough about the situation over there to comment on it, but I could tell enough to know that we are we are like-minded. So it was cool. And her voice is beautiful, and she can play piano because the set was just her and a piano, like a keyboard really.
Nice.
And she was talking about after she was leaving, she was actually going to. I think she said she was going to Kalamazoo after. So
I love Kalamazoo.
yeah.
Kalamazoo's great. Then again, I have much love for Michigan, it being my my source.
Yep. But yeah, she was talking about like driving stick shift in America and driving through Chicago. Yeah.
That's an experience. That'll give her new songwriting material.
I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I would listen to that. I mean, I'll listen to anything she puts out, honestly. I bought a CD. I didn't have her sign the CD. I should have had her sign the CD. But I got my picture taken with her, and that was more important. So, got a neat little tote bag, and
nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. But yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I figure we'll probably wrap up pretty shortly here for the live video, but just to kind of remind everybody and just kind of put it out there, we'll be doing another live video September 30th. I'll be posting about the times on my social media accounts. I'm sure, Ellen, you'll post on your blog, which everybody should check out. It's Technicolor Lily Pond. And we'll be doing some sort of giveaways.
To be determined.
Some kind of prize situation, which I think it's safe to say you have to be present at least for part of the live video in order to participate enough to possibly win the thing.
Yes. I feel like we are being suitably vague, but yes, there will be a drawing that you have to participate during the live event in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
To be eligible for.
Yes. And if you are watching this and you have friends, bring them and have them join the party. It'll be a party. It'll be delightfully awkward, much like myself, probably, in a fun way, not in a weird way, I hope. So
well, it'll certainly be nerdy, and it will exist on the internet.
That's right.
So, as Felicia Day wrote about, you're never weird on the internet, almost. So, I love her book.
I did.
And very inspirational. It was actually very inspirational for me doing the first Nerds for a Cure fundraiser a couple years ago in 2016. But yeah. Anyway, sidebar on another thing I love. But yeah, I'm just sitting here in all my nerd wear, so because I'm cold, so naturally, I instead of doing something with heat, I put on a Lord of the Rings cloak because that's what you do.
That's right.
But yeah, we'll just be nerdy and awkward together, Amber, and that'll be great.
It'll be a
And
beautiful. It'll be a beautiful moment.
mm-hmm.
It'll be beautiful many moments because it's probably going to go on a lot longer than 2 hours.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
So it's going to be a little. It's going to be a little epic.
Yes.
Not quite as epic as Lord of the Rings, but
No.
like maybe in the wheelhouse. Maybe. Maybe.
I probably won't break into song. So you never know.
Never know.
You never know. I have been
know.
known to do that, but
It's true.
Probably not.
Man, today everybody at work was saying things that made me want to. Oh no, it was yesterday. Everybody was saying things that made me want to. They were saying song lyrics in the right cadences. There was at least 3 different instances. I wanted to just continue on, and I resisted the urge because it would have been weird, but great, but weird for sure. So
I think we were planning. We have to finalize it, but I believe we were planning something from 11 to 5 because I remember being adamant that it could not conflict with my D&D game because life priorities and got to have your D&D solidarity.
That's right. Oh, I did not put it in my calendar. I wrote it down somewhere though.
That's cool.
I have 10:30 to 4:30.
There you go.
My notes are right behind me. So yes, September 30th. Come join us again back Amber Unabridged. And we're gonna have some prizes, some giveaways. We're gonna be trying to raise money for a good cause. So you don't have to save up any kind of crazy amount of money, but if you want to help out, a little goes a long way. And it's really the power in numbers is really underrated, I feel. So it's gonna be fantastic. Alicia's gonna be there, so it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be good. We're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna do a lot. We're gonna learn a lot, and we're gonna raise a lot. I hope.
Oh,
so
you know what though? We've already done a lot that's super duper exciting. So yeah. I'm just looking at the team page.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a thing here. Looking at our team page for Team Nerds for a Cure, our goal for 2023 was $1,500, and with our beautiful, beautiful team, we are 6 members strong. We have raised $1,300.
Wow.
So yeah, shout out to Monica. She's currently in the lead for fundraising, followed by you, Amber, and then Allison, then me, and then we've got Matt and Rebecca. So our merry band of 6 wonderful, beautiful nerds who I adore. We are working our way closer to a cure, and I know that all million counting people and their friends and families really appreciate it. Yeah, and the way, like, one of the fun things about this page is they say things as you're fundraising about like how much money it takes to do certain things as for the society.
Mm-hmm.
So I think $100 funds materials for a support group for a certain amount of time, and $1,000 helps fund, a certain amount of a grant or research study. So they break it down, and Okay, next milestone raised. I have personally raised $180 with my beautiful, wonderful network. And the next milestone, if I raise $250, that provides a grab bar to help someone living with MS feel safe and independent in their own home. I can tell you, having lived through having decreased the functionality of my legs, having a grab bar really, really helps. So that it's amazing what a difference that can make in your life. And $275 sends an MS activist to a state action day to share their story with their local policymakers. $500 provides 6 months of counseling services to help someone live their best life with MS. The National MS Society and the Wisconsin chapter do a lot with helping people navigate all the different levels of bureaucracy and options with their healthcare that can be really hard if you don't have someone who knows more of what to do and who to call when, helping you out. So that makes a huge difference. $525 enables a promising graduate student to work in an MS lab for 20 hours a week over a semester. That's huge because that helps the next generation of scientists as well as the current generation. Because the more eyes and brains you have working a problem, the more likely you are to find cool connections and discoveries. And $750 provides respite care services for a family affected by MS to help support caregivers. Frequently, MS can be debilitating, it's degenerative. People with MS tend to live 7 years less than the average person. And there are different kinds of MS. I have relapsing remitting MS, but once you've had that for a long enough time, you become more likely to develop something called secondary progressive MS, where when you have a relapse, you don't necessarily get better from that. And there's another kind called primary progressive MS that works really fast, and your myelin gets attacked and degraded, and it's really hard to recover from that if you frequently don't. So people with very severe forms of MS can need a lot of support and help, and those supporting and helping them need their support, need help and support too. So it takes a community, and I really appreciate you being part of that community and helping and listening and spreading the word, and just being kind. That makes the biggest difference. So thank you.
I mean, I just want to help, and I believe that with the right motivation, a lot of other people will help as well. So, I mean, and I've gotten a lot of donations that have been just very generous, very kind, just for the sake of being generous and kind, without any rewards or prizes. But I mean, speaking as a person who exists in the world, there are times where I'll donate to a charitable cause because by donating, I possibly win a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest about it. You never know. So I am happy to help facilitate people possibly winning things so that we can raise some more money to help out with the MS Society and helping people living with MS, helping research a cure, and making it better, making things better for individuals and communities alike. So, and I believe we can. So I'm very optimistic about it. I try to keep a positive attitude about it, and I'm glad that we can talk about it and share knowledge and hopefully raise some money. So, if you're watching this and you are available September 30th, come hang out with us again. If you don't know if you're available on that day, September 30th, be available and come hang out with us again. and tell all your friends. And if you absolutely cannot be there, tell all your friends anyway. Tell your family too. Spread the word and share the links and everything. I'll be posting on Twitter, Instagram, and also Facebook. But like most people don't have access to that except like people I know in real life. So yeah, Twitter, Instagram, or X or whatever. I don't know. It's always going to be Twitter, whatever. Twitter, Instagram. I'll be posting things. Share the heck out of it. We're going to have a good time. So, Ellen, thanks for hopping on. Do you have any final thoughts?
I will be adding updates on my blog, Technicolor Lily Pond. And so if you're not sure you're going to make it on the 30th, but you want to know what's what, I'll be adding updates on there. And if you go to our team page for Nerds for a Cure, there are updates on there and on our roster. So Amber's on the roster. I'm on the roster, obviously as the captain. So you can go there and see updates. And periodically, Amber and I have been offering other little fun incentives like postcards, because I am a great writer of postcards. So if you want a postcard from me with a fun stamp and or sticker on it, then you should donate. I have a set number. I have 15 postcards left. So one is, I think I've got 3 that I have to send out yet. But hey, if you want a postcard from me, just donate $10 and you can be the lucky recipient of a postcard that could be a lovely bookmark in your future.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And if you're here, you might be a book nerd, so that's something to really consider.
It is. So yeah, Technicolor Lily Pond. You can follow that, and I will have updates on it about Nerds for a Cure, as well as other things that just come into my mind. So if you're curious about things that I write about, then that is the place to find out more.
Right on. Well, thank you for hopping on my channel today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being awesome also.
Oh, you're awesome.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
But thanks for coming. And everybody who has watched live or after the fact, thank you for watching. Hope to see you all on the 30th of September 2023. We're going to be there. Vincent wants you to be there. He says he accepts scritches as bribes for being present. Oh, man. Well, you know what? It's okay.
Adam!
Yeah.
One of our most stalwart team members. Adam.
Yeah, we're signing off shortly here, like actively, but September 30th, that's the big one. Tell all your friends. You already know.
Well, we are Midwesterners, so this is just like the Midwest goodbye that takes an extra like 10 to 15 minutes.
That's true.
For anyone internationally.
I was telling my coworker who's from Massachusetts about Midwestern goodbyes, and she was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Ask anybody. Anybody will know." And she's like, "I mean, other people say goodbye." I was like, "Not the way that we do. It's not the same. It's not the same."
And I think Wisconsin does take it to a whole other level, because I started out my life in Michigan, and I've been slowly migrating around Lake Michigan, and there is a variation on the Midwestern goodbye in all 3 Great Lakes states in which I have lived. But I feel like Wisconsin takes it to the next level with just like that little extra bit of lingering care.
Let's be honest. Wisconsin takes a lot of things to the next level. Sports, fandom, drinking, Midwest goodbyes. We go hard. We're just very enthusiastic about everything. So, that's how we do. That's how we do.
Adam, since you joined, what are you reading now, dude? What are you into now?
Yeah, what's your current read? Can keep talking about stuff as we wait for him to answer if he wants to. But for the record, I have been reading the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, and I'm 343 pages in. I started out on page 323. I read 20 pages today.
Hey!
2 hours. That's not a lot, but I mean, it's something.
Hey, that's progress, yo.
It's progress. Moving in a direction, even slowly, is still moving in a direction.
Absolutely.
So,
yep. I've been reading some folk tales from the Brothers Grimm as homework for working on 2 of my fiction works in progress that are related to fairy tales. But I forgot to tell you, Amber, I did just finish reading John Scalzi's novel Red Shirts. That has been my most recent book addiction, and I love it. It is fabulous. I posted about it on Goodreads.
Okay.
Ooh, that sounds cool. What's that about?
I'm assuming it's about dragons and possibly their blood.
I feel like that's fair. That's a fair deductive piece of reasoning right there.
I don't know why.
I mean, if it's about like cats and accountants, that would just be false advertising right there.
But still pretty freaking cool. Cats and accountants. I would read that book.
Probably, yeah.
I would read that book.
Mm-hmm.
I would. It'd be a good time.
All right, I will write that down though. Dragon. Oh. Indeed. Yes.
Dragon Blood book series by Lindsay Broker.
Cool.
Cool.
So check that out.
Well, thanks for stopping by. We're gonna I think close out, and then but again, we're gonna be doing another live on September 30th. It's a Saturday.
Yes.
It's gonna be going for many hours.
Yes.
Many hours. It's gonna be like an all-day event, minus D&D for Ellen because priorities. So Adam, definitely come hang out with us on the 30th.
Yeah, please do, dude.
We're gonna have a good time. And tell all your friends and family. Tell everybody you know. Every single person. Have them come join us as well. There's going to be prizes. There's going to be nerdiness. It's going to be great. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I hope that you all enjoy your weekend. And, happy reading.
Happy reading. Books for brains. Woo!